Well, hello there. So, this video is going to be in person because, honestly, I slept really late, worked a lot, so the game for Saturday starts literally in 15 minutes. So, I'm going to do a quick video where I can just kind of talk about all the games that happened last night. And there's going to be no clips in this, apologize, but I really want to at least talk about the game, get this out. And I'm going to try to find a format where some people seem to like when I could splice all these games together with the clips and then have them, released out. Seems like some also just enjoy when they're separate. So I don't know. It's just on the boat a little bit more easy to just do it all together because I do not have a huge amount of free time. But we'll talk about the first game last night, the Washington Capitals versus the Montreal Canadiens. That game was wild, and I've already seen some of the skits from like Barber, like Pavel Barber, and like other YouTubers. Like just some have a little bit of Canadian bias, obviously, because they're from Canada. But some of the cross-checking and rough stuff that some Washington players got away with, people were getting aggravated with, and just some of the calls in that game. And both goaltenders going down, like Montembeault going down, Logan Thompson going down. That's going to make that series really interesting if it turns to be a Dobich versus Lindgren. Because, I will say this. What was the shot total last night? 40-21 in favor of the Canadiens. I think it was just a matter of time the Canadiens were going to have one of these games where they finally just broke through. Because while they did lose the first couple games, the Canadiens were giving them all they could. And they were keeping close in these games. And it does showcase that the future of the Habs is extremely bright. Do I think that the Habs will ultimately win this series? I'm not going to go that far yet, but I will say if Thompson is out, that opens up that door a little bit wider. But I would say Montembeault getting injured sucks because he's played absolutely phenomenal in this series. And Dobich can be a good goalie in his own right, but Montembeault has really, hit another level, and he's just been absolutely superb in net for the Habs, and he's proven guys like me wrong. I was a little bit doubtful how good Montembeault would be. He's been absolutely brilliant in my personal opinion. The Habs just, they did a really good job last night. That was the best game of the series for them for sure, and it kind of showcases that, again, their future is extremely bright. The Capitals, a little bit sloppy. Thompson goes down. It's going to be interesting if Lindgren can really hold the fort there. I do think the Capitals still have the deeper team overall, but if Lindgren struggles, this could go the other way. It really could. You see Ovechkin score a goal in this game, and Capitals are playing with a certain physicality and trying to kind of wear down the Habs a bit. But to me, it's going to be interesting to see what exactly is up with Thompson. I think if Thompson's back, I feel more confident about the Capitals, like kind of really wrapping this stuff up. But if they have to go with Lindgren, I don't know. It could kind of get dicey there. But that was an entertaining game. I can't recall a game where I've seen both starters get out of the game. I really can't recall a game off the top of my head like that. So, you don't want to see anybody get injured, but it was interesting, definitely interesting for that fact, for sure. Second game of the night, the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New Jersey Devils. Have to just say, Markstrom has played brilliant in this series. Really has impressed me, showing this is the reason why they got him from Calgary. I just got to admire how well he's played. New Jersey, they finally break through. They're anemic offense for the most part in this series, three goals. It's got to be better there for New Jersey offensively. Double OT winner by Nemec, 3-2 win. I think the Devils played very, very well. I would say the same thing with Carolina. It's funny. This series I wasn't necessarily really hyped up on. Wasn't really that excited for. But it's kind of really lived up to the billing. Freddie Anderson, he played really well. Was that 34 saves on 37 shots against? There was some stretches there that I thought oh shoot, I thought the first overtime, where it was could have ended, and then the second period, the Hurricanes, I thought they were going to score a little bit more. I, man, how do I put this? This has been more entertaining than I expected it to be. I'm just not sure whoever comes out of this series is going to be able to win their next series. Could be wrong on that. I mean, I was proven completely wrong on the Minnesota Wild prediction where I thought the Vegas Knights would just, gentlemen sweep in 5. But I think both of these teams are solid defensively. I think Carolina's a little bit better defensively, but solid defensively. They can do a little bit of offense. Goaltenders have been very solid in this series, which was a little bit of a question mark because coming into it, Markstrom had okay numbers, wasn't great. Anderson and Kochetkov, okay numbers, weren't great. Was the goaltending going to be an issue? Both goalies, Anderson and Markstrom, have played well in this series. So, yeah, it's made for entertaining hockey. And the Devils make this a 2-1 series now. They've still got to keep climbing out of it. But Markstrom keeps playing well, and the Devils just keep trying to bury home garbage. Who knows? Maybe this goes 6 or 7. And we'll get to the last game of the night before I get out of here so I can actually watch the game. The Edmonton Oilers versus the LA Kings. Yep, Kings lead this series 2-1 now, but 7-4 win in favor of the Kings. Yeah, it was a little bit close going late into it. If I remember correctly, it was like in the third. It was still 5-4. So this is the problem with a team like the Oilers. Yeah, like 5-4 pretty late, and then a couple empty net goals to make it 7-4. So this is the problem with a team facing a team like the Oilers. They have the potential to score bunches really quick and kind of outscore their defensive woes and their poor goaltender. So, Bouchard had 2 goals last night. Draisaitl had two apples. It's hard for me to buy in on the Oilers. Even last year, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of their defensive structure, even though they did improve as the season went on. But this year, it's just, I think the Kings, as a complete unit, is just deeper and better in a 200-foot game. But what the Oilers have that some teams just don't is the ability to quick strike, like really quick. They could be down 2-3 goals, and then they could score 2-3 goals in a matter of 2-3 minutes in an NHL game. It's one of their biggest strengths. When you have McDavid, you have Draisaitl. You have other quality players like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You have Evan Bouchard. They have the ability to score in ways other teams just can't. And if you just have a little bit of a lapse defensively, they can make you pay. They can get outshot in a game. This is the thing that I really do marvel at the Oilers' mentality. They can get outshot in a game heavily. But then they get their few good quality chances and they bury them. They win games sometimes they shouldn't. Not necessarily saying that was completely the story last night, but I know some Kings fans were really kind of writing off the Oilers and just saying that, Kings in 4, Kings are going to wrap this up easily. When you have such good offensive weapons, they're always going to be in that threat. Now, again, I'm not the biggest believer in Skinner. I don't think the defense is always great for the Oilers. I think sometimes he gets exposed for that, but I just don't think he's that guy to really carry a team. I think he can get carried through a playoff and go to a final. We saw that last year, but can he be the difference maker? I just really haven't seen that to be the case in his career as of right now. But very entertaining hockey games last night. I am going to get out of here so I can actually watch the game at 1. Which game is it at 1 today? Today's one is the Tampa Bay Lightning versus Florida Panthers. Maybe Nate Schmidt will get another goal, and he'll just be up for playoff MVP this year. We'll see how things go there. That game was very interesting where it was, I think that's going to be more in line with how the Florida-Tampa Bay series is going to go. I don't think it's going to be these high-scoring affairs. But anyways, I appreciate you guys who stuck through, watched it through this point. Apologize for not the highlights having of last night's games. I'm just, probably can tell my voice, I'm a little tired. I'll try to get highlights up for tonight's games or today's games and go from there. But thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Man, I'm tired, buddy. Oof.